Going on, guys? Welcome, episode 36. It's been a great weekend. My hair is getting long. Got to get a haircut. Yeah, it's been a good weekend. It's been a busy weekend. Gotten a lot of things done that I've wanted to get done. Um, a lot of things that uh, I had on my mind that I was actually able to fulfill. I don't know, it's been, a, I try to be as authentic as I possibly can on this podcast. Um, I try to be as authentic as I possibly can be, and I do that to deliver a message to everybody that listens to this. Family, friends, uh, people that I've met out just that I don't even talk to, uh, people that live halfway across the world. I have people who listen in uh, what's that country? Oh, that's embarrassing. I have people that listen in Panama. I have people that listen in Australia. I have people that listen in cities, that I've never even been to, like cities that I've never even like heard of. Um, so I try to find a common ground of connection for everybody. I try to find a place or a subject or something on my mind that I know can connect to everybody. And I was thinking this weekend, I worked all weekend, and I've been working out lately. I just feel like lately I haven't been as organized as I possibly could be. And I kept on blaming it on so many things. I kept on blaming my lack of organization for just the busyness in my life, which is counterintuitive. It's like you are busy in your life because you're not, or your lack of organization is causing you to feel extremely busy. It's not as concrete as if being busy is good, but you can't allow all of your tasks throughout the day to control your mind or the stuff that's cluttered in your world. And I've been really trying to, I hope that made sense. And I've really been trying to figure out, like, I've really been thinking about it. I've been trying to think about what is the difference between now and 4 or 5 months ago. I've been trying, and I kept on coming up with, instead of reasons or solutions, I kept on making up excuses that were validating why I'm allowed to be less organized, why I'm allowed to be less driven. In some cases, I felt less driven lately. Why I haven't been setting a schedule and following a schedule. Instead of coming up with solutions, I found myself, and this is all current. Like, this is all, I'm still trying to figure all this out. I've been trying to figure out what what is it? Like, what is that thing that I'm still, I still have a car, but I went from putting the best gas into my car and taking care of my car all the time to getting a gas that's not as good, maybe waiting extra long, to fill it up with oil, to get the tires rotated. And it was like I couldn't understand it. So I started looking around and I started really pondering, and through reading certain books and honestly just looking up certain philosophers and listening to videos from people, I started at least obtaining some sort of ideas. Uh, because it's really hard. It's something that I think nobody does. Self-thought, the ability to sit down and to self-critique yourself honestly, it's like the scariest thing for people to do. It's the scariest thing for people to do. There's a reason why we all know people that every weekend or every weekday or just every moment of life, they're constantly surrounded by other people, constantly surrounded by people. And I love that. I think you should have a lot of friends, but I also do believe it is extremely unhealthy to never surround yourself with just yourself, just yourself. And being a critic to other people can help people, but it can also hurt them. But being a critic to yourself is the same thing. It can it can be horrible. Like I've critiqued myself so bad before, but it can also be something that is extremely necessary because there's something really deep inside of my brain, at least, where I know if I'm bullshitting or if I'm lying or if I'm taking the easy way out or if I'm just being fucking lazy. I know that. But I'm so good at it that I come off that I'm not being lazy. And then you get stuck in this evil fucking spiral where you're so good at faking it. Like your 80% is as good as everybody else's 100%. Or you're playing 100% but a completely different 100%. And people start validating your bullshit. And I think I was just putting myself in situations where I was lacking the ability to just really pinpoint flaws that I was experiencing in my daily life. And I was listening to too many people. And I'm going to be perfectly honest with you. The more this podcast grows, there is it sucks, and I need to fix it. I'm not doing anything special. I'm just putting out videos and audio files of me talking, you know? And I have people that I I got caught up in the validation of everybody else. And I felt like not that I felt like, but I ultimately took my foot off the gas pedal for a little bit. I did. I took my foot off the gas pedal. I started neglecting my journals. I used to wake up every single day. I would go straight to the gym. I would do 30 minutes of cardio, or I would walk around with my dog, and then I would sit in a sauna if there was a sauna. And I would always have a cup of coffee. I'd read something. And I did this every single day, pretty much every single day. Um, and then something happened where I just started allowing these "I'm so busy" or compliments to make me feel like I could let up on the gas. And it really put me in a downward spiral. And not depressed, not anxious, not sad, but just unfulfilled, unfulfilled. Like I didn't feel fulfilled. And it's crazy because I feel like I'm doing a lot. Between the podcast, school, working, that right there is it's a good chunk of my time. I do 3 podcasts a week. That's 3 hours of recording, and then, 3 to 6 hours of, editing. And I'm not complaining. I love it. But that's, 6 to 9 hours right there. And studying and and a few other ventures I'm trying to do off on the side. It's just, instead of really taking control of that, I just kind of drifted into it, and I let my brain just stop focusing on myself. I let all these tasks pull at me every which way, every direction, every direction. But the things that were keeping me centered, that were helping me the most, I let those fade. I let those go. And I've really been putting thought into it. And so what Mike, what are you talking about, bro? Why are you wasting my time? I had to find a place of balance. I had to really take a hard look internally. I really had to take a hard look internally. I had to start being hard on myself again, something that I haven't been doing as much. And I had to call myself out on my bullshit. I had to call myself out on the days where I was giving in to the resistance. There's a really good book called the Art of War, or the War of Art. I think it's called the Art of War, and it's all about resistance. The professional goes to work even during the most resistance. You fight through the resistance. You don't care about it. You don't even treat it like it's there. It comes up to your foreground, but then you just destroy it. You run through the walls, and problems come up, but you're okay with that. You're prepared. And if you're not prepared, you figure out a way to be prepared. And I was doing that for so fucking long. And I let the resistance beat me. Like not as much as it could have, or not as much as it beats down other people, but it beat me down. And I just gave in, and I bitched out, and I turned the other way, and shit kept on going well for me because I kept on chugging along, but I wasn't putting in the extra time. I wasn't putting in the extra effort. I was getting up at 9 o'clock because I said, "Oh, I've been up for so long. Let me sleep in." But then the days I slept in, I felt like the most shitty. I felt the shittiest I ever felt. I felt the shittiest I ever felt. And I started saying, "Oh, I don't need to study because I already have an A in the class." And then next thing you know, you get a C on a test and you have a B now, and you're like, "What the fuck?" And you start getting mad at other people. But it was me. It was me. It's always you. It's always me. It's so crazy. Like, it's always you. And I wasn't taking self responsibility anymore. And I'm trying, and I will, and I am, and I'm doing everything I can to get back to the point where everything in my life I have my hands in, and I'm controlling it. That's I honestly think that's the ability to to achieve the most happiness and the most satisfying feeling of success. This is just my personal opinion, and this will change. It will go up and down, and there'll be days where I don't feel like this. There'll be days I do feel like this. But to me personally, it's the day. It's when you have your hands in so many things, but you keep your hands in those activities. You keep control. You have some control in everything. Once you take your hand out of the cookie jar and everybody else start putting their hands into your idea, into your um, product, into your service, you lose control, and you feel unsatisfied, and that will put you in a downward slope. I lost control. I took my hand out of working out, and I said, I'm going to put working out, lifting weights, specifically lifting weights. I'm going to put cardio on hold. Why? Because I have to do this. But I neglected to understand that in order for me to do that, I have to do this. I have to work out. I have to work out 5 to 6 days a week. Not extremely hard. Not as obsessive as I used to. I used to work out 2 to 3 times a day, 7 days a week. I used to get up in the morning. I used to do an hour of the stairs. And right before I go to bed, I would weigh myself. If I was at a number that was like off the goal that I wanted to be, I would go do another hour of cardio at the gym or in my basement. And I would do an hour of cardio, burn off all the water. I would go to bed without drinking any water. Without drinking any water because I wanted to hit a specific weight the next day. That was dangerous for my health. That ruined relationships. That ruined the relationship I had with myself. That ruined the relationship I had with the gym. That ruined so many things about my life. It's a dichotomy. Like Jocko Willink says, you can have too much of a good thing. You can be the best leader. You could be the most assertive leader and people follow you, but you can get too assertive and then people won't follow you. You could work out too hard and burn yourself out. This is what I'm trying to get at. I burned myself out. And then since I am a person of extreme, I bounced back and said, I'm not doing that anymore. I can't. I wasn't able to find a balance. I wasn't able to find the point right here in the middle, right where this mic is. If this is the right side, this is the left side, or whatever, left side or right side. I couldn't find the middle foreground, and I was making excuses why I couldn't. I'm a person of extremes or whatever. It doesn't matter. But at the end of the day, I was not controlling that. So what did I do? I let everything go. I stopped working out. There was a point within the past 3 months where I stopped. I was working out 2 to 3 times a week, which for me is kind of that's not good. I don't think that's good for anybody. But for me, I I built myself on that. Everything I've ever done in my most things I've done in my life have stemmed from the gym. The best ideas I've ever had, the best I've created companies based off of the gym. I've been able to get through school because of the gym. I could burn energy before I go to class. I can have something to look forward to while I'm sitting in a bullshit class I don't want to be in. I can maintain my emotions so I can have a better conversation with my girlfriend or my friend so I don't blow up in their face. So the one thing that I had that was controlling me or allowing me to feel peace in my life, I pushed off. I said, no more. Subconsciously. I don't think I consciously did it. But it was like when shit just started hitting the fan and everything just started ramping up. Like you could feel it. Everything just started ramping up. I got out of Dodge. The one thing that I really think I found the most peace in, I shifted it. I got it away from my sight. I didn't look at it anymore. And it fucked with my head, man. It fucked with my head. I couldn't work. I just wasn't working out. And I made up so many excuses. Every excuse that you can make. I told myself this summer I was not going to get over 200 pounds during winter. I got up to 218 pounds. I got up to 218 pounds in the morning. I went to bed that night, the night before. I weighed that at 221. So water weight bloated, nighttime, 11 o'clock, 221 pounds. I told myself I didn't want to get up to 200 pounds in early June. I told myself I didn't want to get over 200 pounds in early June. See what I mean? I let myself go. I didn't hold myself accountable. I lied to myself. Subconsciously, I lied to myself and I broke. You can lie to people. You can spend your whole life just walking around this place, this world, and you could just lie. It's not hard. Everybody can do it. Everybody can lie to yours. Everybody can lie to people. You can lie to your professor. You can lie to your mother. You can lie to your significant other. You can lie to your friends. The one person that it's hardest to lie on, the one person that will eventually come around and bite you in the fucking ass and call you out on your bullshit, it's yourself. You can't do that. You shouldn't do that. You should never do that. You will do it, but you have to develop techniques to recognize when your straight line is starting to go crooked. You have to take the responsibility. You have to find reasons to you have to find reasons to change. And the reasons can't be external. You can't say, I want to change so I can make more money. I want to change so I can graduate. I want to change so I don't continue to lie to myself. So I don't continue falling off the path. Because I love myself. I hear people talk all the time about feeling uncomfortable or never having confidence. And I get it, dude. Trust me, I get it. And it's hard for many reasons. Reason one, self-expression is a good thing until you self-express. Then you're knocked out of the social popular social group of society. You know, once you start actually expressing yourself, once I told people I was going to start a podcast, it was cool. But once I started the podcast, a lot of those people, they don't listen. Am I mad at them? Absolutely not. I expected that. I understand. But once you actually start doing what you love, since you love it, you think in your head that other people are going to like it. But that's the opposite case. That's bullshit. It doesn't work that way. When Led Zeppelin was making their music or stealing their music in some cases, you think they got together, or you think LeBron James started playing basketball and you think he was doing it for the fame, and you think he was really trying to do it to have his own shoe deal? You think he was doing it for that? Or possibly, maybe, he was doing it just because he felt like he had to validate himself. Or maybe he felt like there's people who cut him from his high school basketball team and he wanted to prove them wrong. You hear that phrase all the time. I wanted to prove them wrong. But, at the end of the day, you would never, in order to prove someone wrong, you have to prove yourself correct. You had to prove yourself correct. Because you're not saying you won't make it to the NBA. You're saying you will make it to the NBA. So you're not trying to tell yourself that you won't. You need to check off that box. You need to go internally and figure out the steps to get there. And you know what's a byproduct of proving yourself correct? It's proving other people wrong. Morgan Freeman, you think I mean the greatest artists of all time, you think they were doing it for the public? You think they were doing it for feelings of accomplishment from other people? No, absolutely not. Absolutely not. Because there's people that are doing it for that. They're not LeBron James, bro. They're not Morgan Freeman. They're not Jimi Hendrix. They're not these great artists of our generation. Well, Jimi Hendrix is not from my generation. But they're not there because they spent so long just so worried about what their art was going to be perceived as. And if their art was not perceived the way that they wanted it to be perceived, then they ran away from their art form. I ran away from my art form. I ran away from the one thing that was keeping me tied together. I get intrusive thoughts all the time. I get these thoughts that just put me in a downward spiral. I get very obsessive compulsive at times. And if I don't manage it, it just makes me fucking lazy because it's just such a distraction. It's like the stupid bears with the little metal things hitting each other in my brain. It gets so damn intrusive. It's like, fuck, go away, thoughts. Like, go away, please stop. I don't want to have to deal with you today. Come on, go away. Go away. And I gave into it. I had to stop giving into it. So the long spiel that I'm basically just trying to get off my chest, because one thing that has helped me tremendously and has, I think, kept me really stable is this form of art that I do, these podcasts. I really do. I think these podcasts are incredible, and I think everyone should do them. I think just for the pure therapeutic reasoning, and honestly, more than that, the pure bullshit reason. Like, I can't sit up here and talk, or I could, but I'm not going to shut off the podcast because I say something that I think I shouldn't have said. No, I don't do that. I've never edited a podcast. I've never like took something out of a podcast. I've never like deleted a podcast or started a podcast and I like say something, I'm like shit, and then I just do a whole new one. Maybe I should have at times, but I haven't done that because I love the ability. I love challenging my own thought process, and I've had conversations with like people with like you see my dad up here, and we've kind of debated on some topics, but when it comes time to just shut up and listen, I'll do that. And I take long pauses on here because I say something, I put them out in the ether, and then I really think about it. I'm like, what did I just say? What did you just say? Did that make sense? Like, did that even connect with anybody? Like, why did you say that? Like, fuck, where did that come from? Like, where did that come from? But yeah, I think there comes a point in time where things do get busy, things do get hectic, and your life does become disorganized. But you have to go back into the things that made you happy the most, and you got to start adding those into your routine. If you loved getting up at 5 o'clock every day and going to a coffee shop from 5:15 to 6 a.m., but then your shit just starts getting super super busy and you can't do that anymore. Well, guess what? You still do that, but just do it at a different time. Maybe you might have to do it midday, but make it something to look forward to instead of being like the diving board to your day, like the spring to your day. Make it like a prize, like a gift. Like a gift, something to really look forward to. And for me, my weight it just went, bro, and I made up every excuse in the world. Like I made up every excuse. I was at the point where I was making up start dates every Monday. I was, and I'm not that person. Like when I get on diet, I diet like I am now. I mean, I was 218. I'm back down to 206. And I'm gonna fucking diet. I'm not gonna get fat. I'm not gonna get fat. I'm gonna put on probably 10 pounds this during the holidays, but I'm gonna be at 195 before I do that. So I'll be at 205. You know, because it's not just losing control in your diet. It's not, and I've had to learn that a few times. It's not a coincidence that shit starts falling apart in my life once my body fat gets higher and higher. It's not a coincidence that I become more depressed during times where my weight is just going up and up and up because it's literally I hate myself. I'm putting on fat. I'm hurting my body. I'm hurting my kidneys. I'm hurting my all my organs. I'm neglecting my body, which means I'm neglecting my thought. I'm putting in bullshit food that's fucking up and inflaming my gut biome, and I'm messing up my thoughts. They're intrusive thoughts. They're not my thoughts. They're impulsive thoughts. I'm increasing my dopamine rush all day. I'm overly activating my serotonin and dopamine levels. I'm literally when you're putting on weight and you're getting fat or if you are overweight, you got to realize one thing. I understand, and this is going to probably really piss a lot of people off, but I'm going to say it because I think people need to hear it. I'm tired of people bullshitting themselves every day, every single day. If you are significantly overweight and you are not happy with your body, but you are still figuring out every goddamn excuse under the sun to validate that, to say, "Oh, it's okay because of this," or "I have an underactive this," or "I don't have time to do this." You got to understand, man. You're just lying to yourself. You're lying to yourself. You're lying to yourself. You're bullshitting yourself. You're your best con artist. You're going out there and you're making up every excuse under the sun because you're too lazy. You're too lazy. You lack the ability to grab your fucking life and control it. You don't want to do that. You would much rather just get on by. I did just get on by. I just bullshitted myself. I said, I'll eat all this food tonight and I'll get on my diet the next day. I'll get back on my diet when summer comes around. And I will.
and I could have been 240 pounds going into spring after Christmas, and I would have been 190 pounds next summer. But I'm wasting, what, 6 months being fat and uncomfortable? For what? To eat food? To eat food? To take years off of my life? To put extra pressure on my organs, on my knees, on my joints? To not be as intelligent as I can be? Because my brain and my body's lazy? Because it's spending so much time processing the bullshit I put into it? I am being the most selfish person I possibly can be. Not just to myself, but to my kids, to my grandkids, because I'm hurting myself for 6 months of the year. I'm bullshitting myself, making up every damn excuse under the sun to allow me to eat more pizza, to allow me to eat an extra chicken wing, to allow me to drink on a Friday night and a Saturday night. I'm losing myself. I'm not controlling my thoughts. I'm not controlling my body. And what's worse is I'm validating it. I'm validating it by excuses. And I'm validating it because that is okay. It's never okay. It's never okay to do things consciously that you know will hurt you and your family in the future. So why, listen to me, why would you do that now? Why would you do that now to yourself? Why would you give into those impulses like I've given into those impulses within the past 5 weeks? Why would you do that shit? You wouldn't want somebody else to do it. If I came up to you right now and said, hey man, I love you so much, Taylor, but guess what? I don't want to, I'm going to do things right now so I don't live an extra 5 years. She wouldn't like that. Nobody would like that. Nobody would want that. So why would you take your health so not serious? Why would you treat it like it's so insignificant? Like it means nothing. Don't do that. Take some self-responsibility. You know? Like don't spend your life fucking up and validating your fuck ups. Like, don't do that. That's brutal. That's horrible. That is taking a nail, putting it in your toe, and hitting it every single day. When you have the other side of the hammer, you can just pull it out. But you're refusing to do that because you don't want to flip around the fucking hammer. You just keep on nailing that nail into your toe. And then once it's all the way through, you just look around and everybody's like, oh, good job, your body positivity. I'm so proud of you. Fuck out of here with that shit. I'm so tired of that. I shouldn't get mad, but I get upset. I get upset with it because it hurts people. It hurts people in the long run. Because guess what? When you're so overweight, you have to go to bed at night. You have to lay your head on the pillow. And I don't care if the whole world is like giving you applause. Yay, I'm so proud of you. Love yourself, love yourself, love yourself. But guess what? Guess what? Listen, this is the hard truth that nobody wants to understand and nobody wants to listen to. And guess what? It's usually really skinny people or people who are in shape applauding overweight people. I don't hear other overweight people applauding other overweight people. Okay? Listen to what I just said. I don't hear overweight people applauding every other overweight person out there. You know? But guess what? That overweight person has to go to bed at night. They have to go to bed at night feeling like shit. They have to go to bed at night having their belly rest them up an extra 6 inches from the bed like I've had to do. Having to get up at night because their stomach hurts so fucking bad. Having to roll over on their back because they have so much food in their damn stomach that it's pushing up against the belly and it hurts like a motherfucker. I don't know what it feels like to be pregnant, but I do know what it feels like to binge your damn face off. And not just from the physical abuse that you're putting onto your body, the work that it takes to digest the food, but the emotional and psychological damaging things that it's also doing to you. You feel like a piece of fucking shit. You feel worthless. You don't feel like a human. You feel like a human that is just filled with food. You feel like a machine. And your machine is just, your whole purpose is just a binge and binge and binge. And for what? The quick dopamine rush that you get, or the laughs that you get when people are laughing because you're eating more, or the fat jokes you're making about yourself. Yeah. I'm just sick of it. Because I love my friends, and I love people. And I love when people are happy, and I love when people are feeling good. And I love when I hate seeing people close to me hurt. And I hate seeing people close to me make up excuses. And I hate seeing people close to me letting life fall apart because they lack the confidence to take control of their life. I hate seeing people close to me give up at the age of 50. And I get it, man. I'm young, and I understand. Like, I get it. I'm young as fuck. I get it. You don't know shit about life, Michael. You should shut up. You should talk when you're older. You shouldn't be saying these things because you don't know anything. I get it. But at least I'm fucking saying something. At least I'm presenting a conversation. You don't see guys out there, really. I don't know. I know what it was like to walk into a room and immediately hide up against a wall because you don't want anyone to see you. I know what it feels like to having 30 pairs of shirts in your fucking closet behind me, but only looking at 2 of them because they're the ones that covered up your fat the most. I know what it feels like to wear only cargo pants because the elastic band is too tight and squeezes your fat at your love handles and you feel like a worthless piece of shit. I know what it feels like to have certain underwear because all the other ones are too tight and they hurt you. I know what it feels like to put on a white t-shirt or a black t-shirt underneath your shirt because you're so goddamn fat you're sweating the whole day in class. I know what it feels like to say I'm hurt so you don't have to run at certain sporting events. I know what it feels like to be quick-witty, to make excuses and make funny jokes as I'm coming back with my second plate from a buffet with my friends. Because God forbid they make fun of me. I know what it feels like, dude. And I don't want that feeling for people. And if there's anything I can do, if there's anything I can do to help with that, I'm willing to do it. Because I want this life I'm living right here to feel significant to myself, but I also want it to feel significant to other people. And if I can say something that will resonate with you, then I win, and I'm happy. I'm happy. That's why I started this podcast. I started this podcast seriously because I thought I had something to say. I started this whole thing because I felt like what I had to say needed to be heard. As selfish as it sounds, as fucked up as it sounds, as narcissistic as that sounds, I did. I felt like I had something to say. I felt like I could have helped somebody. And I like to think I have. But you need to help yourself. I need to help myself. I had to call myself out. I didn't want to. Nobody wanted me to. Nobody notices that shit, man. We always think people really notice stuff about us, but they don't, dude. People don't notice things about you. I mean, even the closest people to you have their own goals. There's nothing wrong with that. But what is wrong is if you're really expecting other people to validate you, you're playing a game that's just a losing answer. You're not going to win. You're not going to get out alive. You're going to get out feeling like fucking tits, dude. You're going to feel like shit. You're going to feel like shit. And when you let yourself go in any addiction, I mean, let's be honest, being overweight's an addiction. I at first I didn't want to believe that, but it is. It's an addiction. You get into a negative feedback loop. Once you find that addiction, and there's no validation. But the only validation that you get when you are deep into your addictions are from other people. And the rest of the time, you're a fucking asshole to yourself. So you start aligning positive moments and positive, just positivity with other people, not good. But then you also aligning those positivity moments with other people, including something that is not healthy, including something that is dangerous to you, including something that is dangerous to other people, including things that are just make you feel weak and insignificant. I don't I've never done a drug. I've done certain prescriptions, like, certain prescriptions, but prescribed to me. I've had CBD oil. So I've never done drugs besides, I guess, and what I'm saying, I'm not trying to put myself at a hierarchy, but I'm just trying to get, okay, I've done alcohol, but I'm trying to really connect this point. I'm trying to nail down this point right here. Every time and I'm speaking from food, I'm speaking from sugar, and I'm speaking from the addiction of food. But I'm going to try to relate it with all other addictions. When you snap and you let yourself go and you fall into that vice, and you fall into that addiction, and that addiction grabs you by the fucking nuts and drags you into hell, while you're doing it, while you're binging, in my case, while you're snorting cocaine, while you're downing your fourth beer in an hour, while you are whatever the addiction is. While you're watching porn, I know people who have porn addictions for the second time that day. During the event, it feels good. When I'm eating 4 slices of pizza, it feels good. It doesn't not necessarily feels good, but it feels nothing. You feel nothing, which is a beautiful state to be in if the other side is pain. And the only time that it feels good is the excitement for it. Like, that moment, we all have our addictions, but that moment where you just let it go and you go, I don't give a fuck. I'm going to go to the pantry and I'm going to make some nachos. I'm going to eat them all, man. That feels good. Feels good that you just gave in to the temptation. It feels naughty. You're like, fuck yeah, dude. I did that, man. And while you're eating them, that feeling slowly goes into just darkness. Then it starts settling in and your brain goes blank. You stop thinking. You stop watching the TV show. And all your senses are dimmed. But anything that has to do with you and the food is heightened. And you're just on a certain base level. You're just eating. Everything else in your life is gone. It doesn't fucking matter, bro. Nothing else matters, dude. It's just me and these nachos, dude. Just me and this pizza. Just me and this Chinese food. Nothing else matters to me, bro. Nothing else matters. Am I happy now at this point? I'm halfway done eating. Am I happy? No, not happy. Am I angry? No, not yet. Not yet. Am I just doing it? Yeah, I'm just going through the motions, and it's cool, man. Because everything's gone, bro. Everything's gone. I don't have to confront myself for at least 5 more minutes. I don't have to confront myself for a while. I just keep doing this. Food's done. Cocaine's high's over. You are hungover next morning. You've ejaculated and no one's around. Now it's just you. I laugh because I've been there so many times. I've eaten my face off so many times, and I've snuck it into my room. I've done it when people out. I've literally texted my parents, "When are you guys gonna be home?" Because I just binge my face off. I've had my girlfriend go into the kitchen and I just eat everything so quick. Or like she goes and takes a shower and I just eat everything. I tell her, but I feel like shit. But yeah, it's over. It's done. Now you got to move on. Now you have to move on. Now you have to move on. But you are so resentful. You are so pissed off. You feel butt naked in the middle of Central Park during New Year's Eve, or Times Square, man, and you feel naked in the middle of Times Square on New Year's Eve in New York City. That's how you feel. You feel so exposed. You feel weak. You feel like you have no control. Just tie me up and torture me because I have no control of my body. I have no control of my impulses. I have no control of my thoughts. I have no control of anything. I'm done. I'm gone. I'm wasted, bro. I'm out of it. And what do you do there? Now, what do you do at that point? What do you do? Do you look yourself in the mirror and, say, well, you're a piece of shit. Let's fix this shit. Or you say, well, I'm a piece of shit. I don't want to deal with it. Let's put it off again. And then let's start the cycle again. Yay. But then you go to work, you're like, oh, I'm working a full-time job. I'm doing this, and then you just blast yourself again. You see what I mean? That's what I'm saying. That's a negative feedback loop. You don't experience happiness with anything else. You don't find a zone where you can experience other good moments of your life because you're going through every emotion within this. It depends what your vice is, but for me, binge eating, I'm literally experiencing holy fuck yes to everything's good to fuck man. I don't want to throw up again because I fucking threw up last night, and if I throw up again, that means I'm a bulimic, and I don't want to understand. I don't want to believe I'm a bulimic, but you've been throwing up for the past 6 months, Michael. Fuck, man. You're embarrassing. I'm not even telling people about this. See what I mean? So you're going through every emotion that you could possibly experience. So it's overly stimulating. Everything that you're supposed to feel throughout the day, throughout the week, is happening just like that. Just like that. It's overactive all of your senses, of your brain. So then you become addicted to it because it's drawing you in. You're like, I don't want to do it, but I know I'll be happy, but I'll be sad, but I'll be happy. And I may not be happy any other time of the day, but I'll be happy doing this, so let's do it. Let's do it. Let's do it. Come on, just you, me, and the devil. Let's fucking get those nachos. See what I mean? And that's lack of control. That's lack of self-responsibility. That's giving into temptation. Every time you do that, you check off a box of, I am a loser. Then you validate yourself. I am a loser because you are, and you gave in, and it's true. Yeah, you gave in again, bro. So what is the point of this whole spiel? What's the point of this podcast where I just feel like I'm just being a dickhead? What is the point? I think the point is that I have experienced this past few months those precise moments. I've been going back into my vices. I haven't been controlling my diet. I've been not going to the gym. I've been validating and saying I'm okay because of this and this and this. And I started to lose the base things that kept me on a positive feedback loop. that kept me under control of my life, that kept me happy with everything going on in my world, that made me feel significant about the choices I was making, that made me feel like I was successful. I started to run from the things that made me feel the most fulfilled. And I knew I had to eventually find those and pull them back in and pull them close to my heart. So I'm back at it. I'm back on a diet. I thought I was ready to just intuitively eat. I wasn't, bro. That's okay. That's okay. I'm still training for that. I'm still trying to find the ability for me to eat like a normal person. It's gonna take a little bit, but I'm trying. I'm trying. I really am. I'm trying hard. I'll get there, but yeah, it's a work in progress. For someone like me, it's hard. It's really hard, but I'm trying. Um, and that's the most I can ask for people is to just try, but don't treat giving up like it's like you're falling off like a bridge to your death. Giving up is not doesn't mean it's over. It just means it's over for a little bit. That could be a second when you give up, but then you say fuck no, or that could be 10 years. Be good to yourself. Be kind to yourself. Be responsible. Take control of your life. Don't look for validation from other people. Look from validation internally. Run with your art form. Run with what you're good at and keep doing it. And who cares? It's so cliche, but just don't pay attention to people who tell you that what you're doing is stupid. Because fuck them, right? Who cares, bro? You ain't got time for them. I ain't got time for them. No one's got time for that shit. But what I do have time for is I got time for a shower. I'm going to take a nice long shower, let the hot water hit my body, and I'm just going to relax for a second. I'm going to go do my homework, probably go to Barnes & Noble because I'm down to 1 book left or 2 books left. I've been crushing these books. I'm going to read Catch on the Rye by this Thanksgiving break. Thank you, Mr. Ashoto Wrestling, for saying, listen to your show. You're very insightful. It was a good listen. I appreciate that. I appreciate all of you guys out there, all you girls out there, friends, family, Australians, the Australia, you kangaroo, man, you panda. That's fucked up. All right, I'm gonna get out of here. I have to go take a shower. I gotta get some homework done because I gotta get myself educated. Guys, I love you. Thank you so much for listening. This is episode 36 of the Michael Lab Show. Please leave it a rating. Please leave a written rating. Please subscribe. Please like. Please comment. Share with your friends and family, guys. Peace out. Have a great fucking week. Oh, I want to say this. I'm going to start a new schedule for my podcast episodes. So every Monday at 5 o'clock, I'm going to be uploading a podcast. And every Thursday at 5 o'clock, I'm going to be uploading a podcast on YouTube. And around 8 a.m. every Monday and every Thursday, I'm going to be uploading the audio version. So I'm going to try to do 2 podcasts a week. This is just because school comes around. Once school is out, I'm going to try to do Monday, Tuesday, and Thursday. But I'm going to try to go Monday and Thursday, 5 o'clock on YouTube every week. And then Monday, Tuesday, Thursday, I'm going to try to do 3 at 5 o'clock once school's out. 8 a.m. for audio, guys. Thank you so much for the continued support. I love you guys. I'll catch you guys on episode 37.